Mama, Beanie said. Their real one was dead. That's right. They had a stepmother. A wicked one, she said. She ain't nice. Beanie opened her eyes just a slit and peeked at me a second before closing them again. I thought of Mama, how she wasn't my real mother, how she and Daddy had taken me in as their own, never treating me any different from Beanie. Mama loved me like I'd come from her. My real mother had left me right after I was born. My mother, Winnie, best kept secret in all the history of Red River. Much as I didn't like to, I thought of her most days, even if just a little, and when she did come to mind, it was her with glassy eyes and bleeding body, the life gushing out all over me. That was hardly more than a month ago. I hoped after a while the memory of her getting shot and killed the way she did would fade away. I hoped that enough sunny days might work to do just that. Beanie made another of her noises, pulling me out of that bad memory and back to that sunshine-soaked porch. Nope, I said, sitting up straighter. She wasn't nice. That stepmother was real mean and selfish. When they ran out of food, she got even meaner. Turning, I saw Mama in the side yard, where she shook out a rug, Oklahoma dust clouding up from it, showing like gold in the sun. She caught me watching her and smiled. Well, I went on, that stepmother got the idea to send the children away. Out in the woods, Beanie added. But Hansel, he was a smart boy. He'd been listening and came up with a plan all his own. He took 'em a piece of bread. Beanie swatted at a bug that got too close to her face. He got that bread and broke it all to bits. As he and Gretel followed behind their father into the dark woods, he dropped pieces of it behind them, leaving a trail of crumbs so they could find their way back home. They never went home, Beanie said. Once you go, you can't never get back. Shifting, she turned her face toward town and opened her eyes. Her overgrown eyebrows twitched up and down, and she rubbed at her nose with the back of her hand. What do you mean? I asked. She acted like she hadn't heard me, even though I knew well enough she had. Wiping her hand on the skirt of her dress, she closed her eyes again. I don't want to hear no more, she said. I watched as she leaned her head on the slats again. After a minute, she started on her snoring I knew to be fake. Sometimes she'd do that, pretend to be asleep so I'd leave her alone. On her lap, she held her hand in a fist, the dirt under the nails' fingers tucked tight into her palm. I put my hand over it, covering it. I love you, I said. I meant it. She opened her hand enough to hold my fingers just for a moment. She squeezed them before she went back to her pretend snoring. Out back of our house, Millard had set up his horseshoes. He'd been mayor of Red River long as anybody could remember. He said he was born mayor, which I knew wasn't true. He'd been born in Virginia. I never did remind him of that fact on account of it wasn't my place to. Ladies didn't contradict old men, that was what Mama taught me, and they didn't say somebody was old either. I tried being as much as a lady as I could for Mama's sake, I did, but it sure wasn't easy.
Now you gotta hold that shoe just like this,
Millard said, lifting his hand in front of him so Ray could see.
That's fine, just like that.
Ray Jones stood, nodding at Millard. He was 11 and a half, a whole year older than me, but didn't mind being my best friend. Really, he was about the only one left in town to be friends with. Still, if there'd been a whole truckload of kids in Red River, I would have picked Ray over all of them any old day. He'd been staying with us since his old dugout had gotten flattened by a month of dusters. Meemaud always told me to see how all things work together for the good of those who loved God. I supposed if there was any good from all the dust, having Ray around was it.
Now swing back before you give it a toss.
Millard showed him what he meant, then threw the old rusted horseshoe toward the stake in the ground. It clanked, hitting the goal and circling round it before thumping on the dirt.
Just like that. Nothing to it.
Ray stuck his tongue out the side of his mouth and wrinkled up his forehead, eyes trained on that old stake.